Welcome to the Community Difference Plano, powered by the Difference Media LLC, and hosted by Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, and also sponsored by Jacqueline Kreider with Financial Mastery Simplified, Harvey Loosier with Twilight Cleaning Services, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Cindy Durance with A Place at Home, Susanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Audra Hooper with Audra Hooper Integrated Health, and by Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners. The Community Difference Plano was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Plano starts now.
Good morning, Plano. It is 11:32 on a beautiful Wednesday morning. Welcome to episode number 60 of the Community Difference Plano podcast, a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I'm your host, Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, where we specialize in guiding your personal finances, helping you to properly protect your income. Let's jump in today. It is April 1st. That is not a fool's joke. That is actually the date. So hopefully everything that we say today, you will take seriously, because we've got a fantastic new topic as we launch into April. It is our first Tuesday show. We will be moving to Tuesdays from here on out, same time, 11:30 to 12:45. And we have a fantastic topic: how to turn customers and partners into raving fans, building loyalty that drives referrals and long-term success. Let's bring in our co-host for today. If there's one thing that Harvey Loosier knows, it's how to make an unforgettable first impression. Just ask the bull he fell off of before it even left the chute. As the roller skating powerhouse behind Twilight Cleaning, he's mastered the art of keeping customers on their feet, even if he sometimes isn't. With a business built on care, connection, and a little bit of cleanup magic, from clients into raving fans, no rodeo skills required. Harvey, welcome to the show.
I just love that, Nate. But I want to reiterate that I've never fell on my roller skates, okay? Never.
Just off a live 1,200-pound animal. Okay.
I can skate. I'm a skating king.
All right. Well, we'll have to take you up on that at some point. I don't know how we can prove that at this point. What are you looking forward to today?
You know, I love the topic. I think really digging in and finding out, what's the difference between a raving fan and a customer. I think it's a great topic for this month. So I'm looking forward to that and meeting our guests as well.
Well, let's bring in your other co-host. If success is about swimming against the tide, Jax Kreider is practically a human torpedo. She can swim for miles without breaking a sweat. And as the brains behind Financial Mastery Simplified, she ditched the so-called corporate ladder and built a business on her terms. Though she did once walk in on somebody in the bathroom, proving that timing is everything. Today, she's here to share how to turn customers into raving fans. No awkward surprises required. Jax, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. And I believe you, Harvey. I think that you I think that you stay up on your roller skates. So
Exactly. My wife can testify to that.
There we go. We just have her on, Nathan. That's how we prove it.
That's fair. Well, we should have asked her at our business development lines the other day. She could have told us for sure.
She could have, absolutely.
What are you looking forward to today?
I really not only like the topic of the month, but I think we have some really amazing guests, and I'm excited that the Plano PD is back sharing with us all the amazing things. So just really rooting into the community and helping others is always a passion of mine, and I'm excited to do it on this show today.
Well, that's good. We're going to get to hear from Plano PD in just a moment, so that's wonderful. Well, we've got two great guests. Let's bring in the first one. Great design and great businesses are all about precision, vision, and sometimes taking a hit to the face. Just ask Ariel Merck, who once went teeth first into a teammate's head during a soccer game. As the creative force behind AeroView Design Company, she knows how to bring ideas to life stitch by stitch. Whether it's branding or beginning sewing, and just like her unexpected love for cream cheese and dates, she's here to show us the right mix of strategy and hearts can turn customers into raving fans. Ariel, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, we found out in the pre-show that you were, in fact, named after Ariel, the mermaid, so that's we can just get that out of the way. That's exciting.
Yes.
And so I got to be honest with you, dates are something that I've always thought looks like it's not supposed to be eaten. I don't know. And here's what. So as a kid, I watched, which Indiana Jones was it that the monkey died from eating bad dates? Do you remember that? Was it the first one?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw that as a kid, and ever since I'm like, no dates for me. Not doing dates. We have some in our house. Like kids eat it, but I don't know. Anyways, well, we're glad you're here. What are you looking forward to today, Ariel?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the knowledge of other people coming together. It's fun to bounce ideas because someone always thinks of something that you would have never thought of, or they stir something in you that you didn't think of because you weren't collaborating with someone.
Yeah, I think that's 100% true. That's great. That's wonderful. Well, we've got one more guest, last but certainly not least. Let's bring in Rachel Jordan, who knows how to handle wild situations, whether it's processing a deer by herself or realizing mid-lake that her swimsuit had completely given up. As the heart behind Your Life Girl, she's mastered the art of keeping things together, literally and figuratively, and building deep connections. Today, she's here to show how gratitude, authenticity, and maybe a few well-secured straps can turn customers into lifelong raving fans. Rachel, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
When I was creating your intro and read the little mishap, that's unfortunate.
It was incredibly unfortunate. Definitely the most embarrassing moment, hands down.
Well, hopefully it seems like you recovered, so that's good news. That's good news. Well,
Yes,
talk
for
to us
sure.
about what are you looking forward to today?
I am just super excited to gain knowledge and wisdom from fellow business owners and, like Ariel was saying, just fresh perspective.
Well, we're going to do just that. But before we get to our topic, on the other side of this commercial break, we want to bring to your attention some important events, things that are happening in your community that you need to know about, as well as we'll have a visit from the Plano Police Department. So stick around. We'll be right back on the Community Difference Plano.
The Community Difference Plano is made possible by Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, Harvey Loosier with Twilight Cleaning Services, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Jacqueline Kreider with Financial Mastery Simplified, Susanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Audra Hooper with Audra Hooper Integrated Health, Cindy Durance with A Place at Home, and by Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Up Plano?
What's Up Plano, sponsored by Leavenworth, Texas. Get ready to experience the true heart of Texas at Leavenworth, Texas. Savor authentic Texas cuisine from barbecue to wild game to Gulf seafood, all while enjoying live music from some of Texas's best artists. So whether you're craving a taste of the Lone Star State or looking for a fun night out, this iconic spot has it all. We just got back from there. Our last Business Development Alliance was there on Wednesdays from 11:30 to 1. We had Mayor of Wiley. It's the Collin County Business Development Alliance with the Mayor of Wiley out this past week, and had a great panel discussion, just an all-around good time. We don't know for sure where this month's is going to be, whether it's going to be back at Leavenworth or somewhere else, so stay tuned for that. Speaking of important events coming up, the in partnership with the I'm totally blanking, the American Legion, my gosh, Post 321 in downtown Plano, The Community Difference will be partnering with them to put on a Veterans Job Fair on May 31st. Business sign up deadline. This is the flyer for the veterans. It's a family event. Okay, there's going to be stuff for the kids to do. There's going to be food provided. Come out, meet Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. Whether you're been a veteran for a long time, looking to switch careers, looking to make more money, or you're just coming out of the service, you're going from active to veteran status, we want to help you find the career that's going to fit you and your skill set. Also, next flyer, if we can, if you're a business owner, registration is only $200. Deadline is this Saturday to get those sign up, right? We've got a lot of businesses that are interested, but we need them to actually sign up so we have an idea of who is going to be there. It's only $200. That's very low compared to your normal job fair, and only $100 if you're a veteran-owned business. So let's get that, scan that QR code. If it doesn't work for some reason, reach out. It does work, but if you can't scan it, reach out to us. We'll send you the actual code to the form, and let's get that thing full. We're going to have a great event on May 31st. It is the, coming up this Friday. Thank you, Lyndon. If you're a singer, we found out that Lyndon is not a singer in our pre-show. But if you are a singer, this is the place to come out and sing Under the Stars karaoke at McCall Plaza this Friday from 7:30 to 10. I'm sure you'll hear all range of vocal abilities that will either pierce your ear or tickle your ear, depending on how well they go. But it's going to be a fun night. Hopefully, the rain holds off and it's not too wet for that event. It is April. There's a lot of Easter fun activities happening as we move into really the heart of spring, and a lot of things are happening around the community. Here to tell you about that, Harvey.
Awesome. Yeah. And it's not just about Wiley, but it's about, Plano, but it's about Plano and beyond. So first up, we'll start right there in Plano. We got the annual Spring Fest and Giant Easter Egg Hunt in Plano. This is an event where you can bring the whole family for an action-packed day with free Easter egg hunting featuring 5,000 eggs, a free carnival game, inflatables, petting zoo. They're going to have chickens and bunnies, free arts and crafts, and plenty of free food. So, and of course, tons of candy for the kiddos. So be sure to come out and join them. And this is at the First Baptist Church in Plano, right off of George Bush there in Plano, Texas. So come on out and take advantage of that. And
Harvey, real quick before you go, this is how my mind works. When you said giant Easter egg hunt, you meant like volume of eggs, but I'm thinking like a giant egg. I'm like, well, how hard is that going to be to find? Like, that doesn't seem like a very good event at all. But when you said, I'm like, okay, now I felt stupid. So I'm going to share that. I'm going to share how my mind works with you guys this morning.
The one that I like is when they bring in the helicopters and just drop them.
Yeah, they do.
Hunt.
Yeah, they're doing that at Create Church, I think, next.
How does that work?
They just drop them.
Literally, it's like a giant amount of toddlers and little kids running around trying to put as many eggs in a basket as possible. That's how it works, Lyndon.
Well, I'm assuming those are plastic eggs and not real eggs that you're dropping.
Oh, yeah, no, they're plastic eggs, 100%.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So a giant amount, but not giant toddlers.
Ever.
Because if not, you're going to have a lot of egg salad on the field rather than Easter egg hunts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All the hospitals have a bunch of toddlers with welts on their heads from all the egg drops. That would be
like a hailstorm.
That would be terrible. Yeah. Okay. Well, we really derailed there. Go ahead, Harvey.
Also, next up in the city of Wiley, we have our 500 pedal car race. If you've never been to this is probably the cutest and most exciting thing that I've ever seen for kiddos to be a part of. And you'll see a lot of local businesses. They'll have their own wrapped pedal cars and they'll put these kiddos in them. But it's for kids ages 2 to 5, and they'll have a pedal car race down Ballard Avenue there in downtown Wiley. Registration is just $15, and it includes a T-shirt and a ribbon with trophies awarded in 2 age brackets, which would be the 2 and 3 year old and the 4 and 5 year olds. Spots are limited, and I will tell you that when they shut this down for this event, it is crowded. So it is a very, very big event. And if you don't know, this event supports the Special Olympics in the downtown beautification. So it's for a great cause. And if you've never been, I would strongly urge you to go check it out. So also, let's talk about some fishing. So In Allen, we have a catch and release event. Any legal sized fish will be donated to rehab patients and local wildlife. You can pre-register through April the 18th and save $5. And this is located at 1625 Rockdale Park Road in Allen, Texas. Pre-registration for adults are $10 and kids are $15. So they're going to have prizes at the door. And so it's just a great time for the family to get together and just be able to spend some quality time together, especially with the kiddos, and just be able to do some fishing. So I always enjoy these fishing derbies, especially with my grandkids. So whether you're hunting for eggs, racing down Ballard, or reeling in a big one, there's plenty to do in April.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of outdoor activities. Really, we talk about this all the time, but Plano is just such a hotbed for outdoor things to do. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's what I'm going with. Jax, it's also become a hotbed for pickleball, right? It has really become a pickleball mecca for a lot of people as that sport continues to grow. What's coming up?
Absolutely. And so I don't know if you guys are familiar with Carson Crusaders. They actually are a local charity here. They help support families who have children going through cancer, right? So there's a really worthy cause. And so on May 10th, the courts in McKinney, they are doing a pickleball tournament. So you can play. There's a QR code right there. You can come and cheer everybody on. But it's supporting a really great cause, and tons of people love to play pickleball because it is kind of the new, latest, greatest sport. And I personally have not played because I am not sports inclined. But from my understanding, it's like a combination between tennis and badminton, I think. Is that right, y'all? Good. I'm glad Ariel's shaking her head because I'm not really sure. I don't really play. Me and sports don't get along, but it's a really great opportunity for people to support Carson's Crusaders and also just have a lot of fun with the family. Get out and kind of get going. The weather's finally getting nice, right? Hopefully our bipolar weather has ended for this year. Knock on wood.
It's Texas. Anything can happen.
For real. Anything can happen. Yeah. And up next, we are bringing in the lovely Officer Osborne. She is a representation of the Plano Police Department. I think we learned before the show that she has been serving Plano for about 7 years. Is that right?
Yes, going on 8.
That's awesome. And so we're so pleased to continue our relationship with the Plano Police Department and to hear all the good things that are going on in Plano that the police department is doing to help our lovely city.
Okay. Alrighty, so we have our quarterly craze program. It's going to be on April 22nd. I do believe there are a few seats left, so if you're interested in going, go to the Eventbrite and look under the Plano Police Department, and hopefully there are still some seats available.
And can you explain what craze really is, like for those people who may not know?
Absolutely. So what it is to provide strategies and guidance and to increase your ability to survive should the unthinkable ever happen, such as an active shooter situation. So what that is it's going to be hosted by 2 officers, and they're going to kind of not put you in scenarios, but kind of talk their way through letting you know what to do in the case that it happens. So it gives you that guidance.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that Plano does that.
And I recommend everybody going, obviously, to that. And I think we've had people from the difference go as well. But can you give just kind of a few? And I don't know if you teach or not. Can you give a few, like some of the more like details of some of the things that they actually will be teaching? Like, does that make sense for those that may not be able to attend?
So it does. However, I do not teach craze. So as far as like it, I'll just say this. If you're ever in a situation like that and you have the opportunity to run. That's going to be the main thing. If you have an opportunity to hide. So it's simple things like that they're going to tell you, not some, not to take down the shooter type thing, not to put yourself in harm's way, but just simple things to kind of educate you on the signs, and to educate you on what to do if you were ever in that situation.
Okay. That's very good. That's very good. And then what else? Yes.
Yes, so Vacation Safety School, that's one of my favorite little things that we have here for the city of Plano. I've been here for 8 years. I know it's been here more than 25 years. So each year for the month of June, we have about 120 students, 30 at each time. So we'll have that amount of kids. We come in, we talk to them about all kinds of safety things: bike safety, gun safety, water safety, poison control. They get an opportunity to see the search and rescue dogs, and then they also get an opportunity to visit the fire department. We won't talk too much about them, but
the
rivalry is real.
Man.
They do get an opportunity to take a tour. So it's always, that's a really good highlight for the kids, just because they get to put on bunker gear, take those pictures. So I won't rag on the fire department too much, because it is a great program that they're allowing us to utilize them for. Registration is April the 18th from 8 to 2 p.m. And it's going to be in the lobby of the Plano Police Department, 7501 Independence Parkway. With that, I do want to say a few things. You can only register your children from ages 6 to 9. You can only have participated, or this should be your only time participating. So it's a once in a lifetime type deal. And you do have to live here in Plano. You cannot register your friends, or your friends can't register your child. So we do get a lot of that. And, it's unfortunate, but we have to leave room for the parents that are able to come in and physically complete an application. Okay.
Well, thank you. Before we wrap up here, just a little bit, because this is your first time on. We've had obviously Sergeant Babb and a couple other people that come on and kind of share what's going on and what you want the citizens of Plano to know. But just a little bit about you. You've been here for almost 8 years. You said later this month. Now, part of this is probably because they hired you, but why did you choose Plano? What is it about the city that you've grown to like in this last 7, 8 years that you've been protecting us?
So I actually graduated from Plano. So I used to live here.
Okay, so you grew up here. Awesome.
Yes, and I actually live in Wiley. It's funny that you guys were talking about Wiley, and I know about the little race that they have for the kids. And if that's on Ballard Street, it is definitely busy around there. So, but I love the community. I love the people in Plano. It gives me an opportunity for me to be in a crime prevention unit. It gives me the opportunity to see the hello side. Typically if we're in uniform and we're going because something bad has happened, going because someone has invited us, that's a great feeling.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I can imagine that. Well, we appreciate it. It was great meeting you for the first time. I'm sure we'll see you back here at some point. So thank you for continuing to serve and protect us. When we come back, first of all, you just learned everything going on in Plano. Now, what to do about our businesses, right? The business topic of the month, how to turn customers and partners into raving fans, building loyalty that drives referrals and long-term success. We'll jump into that on the other side of this commercial break. We'll be right back.
The Community Difference would like to thank each of the following partners for their continued support. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance. But with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
Now back to the show.
Welcome back. How to turn customers and partners into raving fans. We're going to jump right into that. Most businesses focus on getting customers, right? We all want to get customers, but have you ever thought that that's actually the most expensive way to grow? So the secret is not necessarily finding more customers. It's turning the ones you have into raving fans, brand ambassadors, people that are going to not only come back themselves, but send and refer other people to you. So we're going to break down today why satisfaction, right, just being a satisfied customer isn't enough to actually grow, why a lot of businesses fail at retention, and some of those exact strategies that the successful brands use to create deep loyalty, endless referrals, and continue to provide that lifetime value. So you notice that some brands have these customers that just continue to come back. And so my first question is, if satisfaction were enough, why do some people wait in line for brands that they love, right? If satisfaction is really just all that it takes, why are some people waiting in line for the latest iPhone or the latest release of this or that or the other? Let's start right there.
Well, I think when you're talking about that, Nate, a satisfied customer, it gets what they expected, and we just move on. Where a raving fan is emotionally connected and actively promotes you, and how you get that, I believe, is truly with the connection after you get the customer, or even, we're not necessarily talking about customers, we're talking about fans as well. So it's all about that connection, that relationship, diving in deeper and making them or letting them know how important they are to you. When I look at Apple, for example, I'm not one of those that would wait in line for an Apple phone, but there's people that would just wait in line for hours to get the newest and latest Apple phone, and it just blows my mind. But how did they get there? And it was through the branding, the strategy, and just making them feel like that it's something that they desperately need. And so I would be curious to know, because obviously they don't build, or do they build a relationship with individuals like that to get them to think or become raving fans, I guess would be the right words to use.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on something that's important, and I think satisfied, you just get what you get what you wanted to get. Okay. And so it's almost a neutrality there. Like if I go to Walmart to get milk and eggs and bread, and I walk out with milk, eggs and bread, okay, that went well. I didn't have to wait that long. Okay. And we don't really think about that in a grocery store setting, but if it wasn't a bad experience, you could say, well, yeah, that went how I expected it to go. But I did not become a raving fan of Walmart. In fact, I'm probably still less the opposite at this point in life. But even from smaller brands, the satisfaction is neutral, right? That's what you expect to do. You expect when you have a customer that they're going to come in, your product, your service, your experience, whatever you're coaching, you sell them a home, you expect that they're going to get what they need. That transaction is the end game of the whole point, right? But so then the question is, well, where does the emotion come in? And you talked about the emotion, right? Ariel, what are some of the emotional just some of the emotions, period, that drive that longevity, that go beyond just, hey, I got what I needed?
Yeah, I think it really boils down to, are you trying to sell a service or are you trying to sell the solution? Because if you're selling the solution, you're helping solve their problem. That's where I feel you really get that raving fan, because they truly feel like you care about them. You care about the relationship. You're not focused on trying to get more money in your pocket. And that's something that I think a lot of small business owners do, is we focus on excellence on all of the areas of how can I best serve you, and know that at the end of the day, as long as I serve my clients well, nothing else really matters, because that's what I care about.
Yeah. And I think to take that a step farther though, because you in the process of the transaction or the service or whatever you're doing, you want people to feel like you care about them. You want people, but when I get home, when on the fifth day after Harvey's cleaned my business, what is my relationship with him? Do I even think about that anymore? Or better yet, what is his relationship with me? Right? Does he how it? Because here's what's interesting, that though, like I don't have an Apple representative. Like I don't have a guy. Let me call my Apple guy. I don't have an Apple guy. Maybe somebody does. I don't. But at the end of the day, there's still that emotional attachment to Apple, and it's great quality. But they've captured something different. Now we may not, as a smaller business, we may not be able to capture that in that sense, but the same result is capable, right? Rachel, what do you think?
Well, I think that you guys touched on it being a transactional type mindset. If you go into it with the mindset of let's get this transaction done, and one and done, and then you move on to the next customer, it's going to kill your business. So I think whenever, as a business owner, you come to the table with the mindset of a needs analysis, and what does this customer truly need, and what can I provide to them and for them, then you're authenticity or coming.
I think we're having a little technical difficulty there with Rachel. Hopefully we'll try to get her back. Oh.
Yeah, we're losing her a little bit.
We lost her. I
was going to say, when it comes to the emotional piece, I mean, we've talked about branding, right? And creating deeper brands. Like on other episodes of the show, I think the branding helps. That's where a lot of that emotional piece comes from Apple, right? There's a brand expectation that people are having and in their mind. But then the delivery, right? What is happening beyond like that actual transaction? Because yes, we need to make sure we're going above and beyond in the transaction, but what's happening when we're stepping away from that and continuing, right? Are we following up? Do we actually care about them as people? Because it's very easy to seem relational when you're in the transaction and you're going through all those steps, but what's happening after the fact, right? Did you just finish it and then that was it, and you didn't really care about them, right? Because to create a raving fan, not only do you need to be above par, right? Like beyond, and to create that emotional experience when you're in it, but then also when it's this past, the follow through, the follow up, right? Making sure that they don't have any additional needs and things like that. And a lot of times, especially as small business owners, because we're sometimes so in our business and not, kind of stepping back, we don't do a great job of doing those things, right? Furthering that relationship, sending them a birthday card or whatever it is, right? To continue showing them that as a person, it wasn't about the transaction you did with them, right? It was about them as a person, which is creating that emotional depth.
Would you say that the number one mistake business owners can make is thinking kind of the relationship ends after the sale?
Oh yeah. Because the truth is that, I mean, think about it. Your cost on customer retention is like one of the most difficult things to achieve. If you can achieve raving fans and you can continue that relationship beyond that one transaction, then you can start that cycle of them returning back. And not only them returning back, but if you are truly creating a raving fan, they are going to be like, oh my gosh, Harvey, Ariel was so amazing with this interior design, representation. Like, you have to talk to her, right? It's naturally just going to come out of you. Like you become a spokesperson without even trying because of your experience with them.
Yeah. So let's take it a step further, because we're talking about the customer interaction on an individual level and how to maintain that experience. And I want to break down what that process would be if you're kind of trying to figure this out from the beginning as a new business owner. But let's look at the community on a wider scale. How does community building play a role in loyalty for your business?
Well, obviously,
I stumped y'all.
Obviously, it goes back to relationship. I mean, obviously, if they see what you're plugged in, and most especially if it's something that matters to them, I think that's huge. Whether it be fire and law, first responders, whether it be diabetes, whether it be the CAC, whatever the case may be, people will gravitate to what interests them or what they're plugged into, and so then it makes you, it opens up the eyes that you are plugged in the community and that you're more than just a one and done company, that you're just not out there to get the sale and move on and get the next sale and move on and get the next sale, that you're actually here for the long haul, that you're a plugged in small business that wants to build relationships, not only with the community, but with the customers that they serve.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if it's the community at large or a Facebook community or some sort of Facebook page that you fostered and built kind of a community around your brand. But as you expand and bring in people beyond connectivity than just what you do, right? That, you don't have a group necessarily, Harvey, of people that just love cleaning,
Right.
Or that are, that own cleaning businesses, because that would, there's a very limited there, right? Everyone's kind of doing the same thing, but you bring lifestyle and you bring, you offer different types of, exclusive content. It's funny because as I'm going through this, everything that we talked about over the past, 3 or 4 months, different topics from turning social media into service media, how to impact the sales cycle. We talked about how we think as CEOs last month. We talked about uncovering untapped opportunities back in January. All of this points to building a community of people that love you and what you stand for, and thus will hopefully transition into loving your brand, and that creates that longevity. Okay, so let's look step by step. What are some steps that if I'm a brand new business owner today and I'm just trying to figure this thing out, and I want to start creating, raving fans and not just transactional customers, what's one of the first things that I should do?
So at
Rachel,
least,
what do you?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Jack. That's fine. No, that's
I was
fine.
going to say, at least one of the things that we stepped back and did, because at least in the broader scale of what I do, as far as the mortgage piece goes, it is not always the most exciting piece. Like, our part is kind of the boring part, right? So how do you build an established relationship with your clients? And so we started taking some steps to connect with them on a more emotional level, like providing them a box that has some branded tape and some, stickers for them to be able to pack up their things, right, for this move, and, giving them some cookies throughout the process, right? Like, so doing some things that are making them feel seen and, like, to ease their life and like a big transition period. So whatever your customer experience looks like, you need to kind of map it out, right? So step back and ask yourself, like, what is the steps in my transaction, whatever that is, right? And then how do I make my customer experience where when they're at the end of it, it's not just they did this thing, whatever it is, right? They just had a cleaning experience, they just did a mortgage, they did whatever. So, how do they dig deep to make sure that they really felt seen and heard and emotionally connected? Because that's going to level it up 10 times above what it was.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about too, and this is when I asked that question, this is kind of my thought process is, the first thing you've got to do, no matter what you're doing, we have insurance, we have cleaning, we have design, we have mortgages on here, financial services. First thing you have to do is over deliver. Like you have to do a bang up job on whatever your business is. That's kind of a given, right? That's step one. But not just, but take that to the nth degree, like more than what they would be expecting. Right there, that grabs that customer experience and like, okay, well, this is different. This is more than what I expected. And then my second thing would be at that point, that's where people kind of fall off, right? Well, you got to find a way, obviously we're not going to talk about the technicalities, but obviously having a good CRM follow-up process is great. But the staying in touch, right? Personalization, et cetera. And then I think step 3 is find a way to make that community or individual feel like an insider, right? Whether it's, exclusive access, behind the scenes stuff. And there's a lot of done in social media, but you can also do open houses. Depending on your business, you can do, Harvey's business is probably done open house because he's going to be opening up other people's businesses to them. That would be weird. But you have all these different ways of thinking, and making people feel like you're not just here to swipe the credit card, right? And it's funny because as I'm thinking through my insurance clients and my investment clients and just ways that I have not done that, right? And now my mind is churning to, okay, how do I go back and recapture some of that relationship, if possible, that I didn't do a good job at, because it's so easy to get into transactional mindset. But especially in our business, you talk about lifelong customers. If you do a good job in that world, people, they're sending people to you left and right. And so this topic has challenged me to start thinking in that way.
Nathan,
go ahead.
I think that we overcomplicate this topic and this question. And I think for me, just taking a step back and asking myself, how would I want to be treated? What would make me feel special? What does make me feel special when I'm, in a customer relationship with another company? And it really is simple, like as simple as sending a handwritten thank you note, or finding out someone's why do they think that they feel that they need this service or this product. And there's so much value in finding their why, because that's how you build a connection.
I couldn't agree more. I think that's great.
Well, to add to that, in my industry, I am strictly going after commercial accounts. So when I first started building business, I wanted to have that concept of I want to be able to stay communicated with them. I want to build relationship. And when you're dealing with a business, a lot of times they're like, hey, no, this is just a business transaction. I really don't want to have to build a relationship, et cetera, et cetera. So I was overcomplicating it, just like what Rachel was talking about. And so then I went in with the mindset of being communicative up front to let them know that, hey, this is what you're getting out of this company. We're going to be coming in. We're going to pop in, say hi to you. We're going to walk the facility. We're going to make sure everything's okay. And I want to personally speak to you every time I come in to make sure that our relationship's in good standing. I want to have that touch point, and I want to be able to build that relationship with you. And so just like what she was saying, we can overcomplicate that. And then I know in my industry, it's unique from most, but it's just one of those things that you really have to stop and think about and communicate with your customers before you make that transaction, if you will.
So you guys are saying a lot about unforgettable experience is kind of the starting point. I know we've used Apple a lot, but if we go back to Apple, it's not so much the relationship, it's the credibility, it's the trustworthiness, it's the consistency. But if you do go to an Apple store, it's unlike any other store. Like they have all these people that are experts, and sometimes people get frustrated because you have to wait a long time. But it's definitely different. It's definitely different.
And Lyndon also has something to say too, Nathan, when you're done.
Yeah, and it's definitely different than where you would normally experience, like, you know, your, I don't know, Best Buy or something like that. But you have a different experience right off the bat just from your initial opportunity. Go ahead, Ariel.
So what I like to do, because it is, for me, it is all about the experience. It's all about how can I make it more enjoyable, because I could potentially be coming in and just ripping everything out and making it beautiful. And that's really stressful for a lot of people. So what I like to do is I like to do gifts along the different stages. So like my first consultation, I will do either a candle, but if it's a guy, I get a little more creative because not every guy wants a candle. And then whenever we are about to purchase stuff, I'll bring flowers. Same thing with the guy. Obviously, I'm not going to bring you flowers. I might bring you something different, like a bottle of Jack or something. And so doing stuff like that. And then I end the project once everything's done. Then we do, I have a private chef come in and they host a dinner in their space with 16 of their closest, either family or friends. So they're able to enjoy their space, but also show it off of like, look at this awesomeness. And just the excitement, it's kind of like keeping the excitement, almost like the same thing with the raving fan. Like you're keeping them excited throughout the process, but they're not, because it wears you down because you don't see progress. And then all of a sudden progress happens and it just, bam, it's done. So that's the way I kind of keep it going throughout the project.
I'll take candles anytime, by the way. I like candles. It's just a sidebar. Lyndon, I know you wanted to comment from the production booth in the back.
So one of the things that I think when Harvey's talking about we overcomplicate it, a lot of times people when you're business to business, they are strictly business, right? They don't have a lot of time for fluff and all the other things. That doesn't mean that you can't build a relationship with them or that they'll want to build a relationship with you if you're someone worthy of having a relationship with. That's the key, right? I can do a good service in my industry and not be worthy of them getting to know me. They'll still hire me, but they're not going to talk about me because they don't know me. So that's when going beyond your brand, beyond your service, becomes the important part. Is it trendy to promote you? And what I mean by that, when I say, man, I know this guy named Harvey Loosier that owns Twilight cleaning services, and everybody, oh my God, he is awesome. Have y'all seen what he does? Did you see what he did with this thing? Did you see how he gives back to the community? When you become that person, and we all know, and we've all been guilty of it. That's why do we buy brands? Because it makes us feel cool. All right. So if we're looking at a way of how can I live my life and create my brand and existence within the community so that I'm attracted to people, not for what I sell, not for what I serve, but for who I am as a person. When you do that, you'll have raving fans that don't even do business with you.
That's good.
See, it says raving fans. It didn't say raving customers.
Yeah.
Harvey, I know that you've got one yourself that she also does cleaning, right? She's got a different cleaning service than you. Now, actually, it's two of them. I know two people in the cleaning industry that celebrate you on social media because of who you are as a person.
Yep.
That's a raving fan. They're not a raving customer. They're a raving fan. They don't need you to serve them because they do the same thing you do. And I think that's important. If we look at it as how can I become trendy to do business with, not in a egotistical way, but in a community service way, right? Community connection way. Do you have an impact on the human condition within your community?
Right. Well, I mean, Lyndon, you're so right, because the truth is that some of the people that probably refer me the most, I have never done loans for them or helped them. You know what I mean? Like, but because we have created community, we've created, relationships, etc. Because I've done a fabulous job of, helping them with things and being a good person, truthfully, right? It does sometimes create that what you're referring to, which is so true.
For me, back years ago when I was doing credit repair, a perfect example for that is I would go to a lot of networking groups, and a lot of people in those networking groups didn't need credit repair, right? So how did I establish a relationship with them so that they would promote me, even though they didn't use me, have any experience with me? And I think that's the challenge that we can look at is if I took my business completely out of the picture, could I create a network of people that would celebrate who I am because of who I am? And then you'll have raving fans.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, we spend a lot of time, we spent many topics in some capacity over the last 2 or 3 months, 4 or 5 months, actually, talking about, how the grind of trying to create referrals is not the way to go. And we just talked about in the open here, how that's really a time consuming and expensive way to operate your business. But what we're really talking about here by creating fans, raving fans, right, is really engineering referrals, where you're not going out there and trying to, schmooze somebody to send you a referral. You're not going to the next networking group and hopefully they feel obligated to send you a referral. You've built something that generates referrals based on who you are and the reputation and consistency that you have. And so let's wrap up with this question. We're going to transition into our what's the difference, which will wrap up our topic in just a moment. But let's end with this. What would you guys say is a process to some of the top brands? We've used Apple, we've used some other ones, but how do these top brands create referral worthy experiences intentionally, right? Referral worthy experiences intentionally. What would you say?
I have Chick-fil-A come to top of my mind when I'm thinking about businesses that go beyond, and everybody talks about how, they say at Chick-fil-A, it's my pleasure. I mean, it's almost a running joke, but behind that, everybody likes to feel that they're treated a little special. It's different than going to Whataburger or wherever, you get that step above treatment and it does stand out.
It's funny because I actually say I say my pleasure all the time, and I'm pretty sure it's because of Chick-fil-A. Like I literally,
well, I'll give you something to back that up, and y'all are gonna probably think I'm weird. I am not a fan of Chick-fil-A sandwiches. I think there's better ones out there than Chick-fil-A. But I think Chick-fil-A is one of the greatest organizations that's ever been in the United States of America. I really do. I'm a raving fan of Chick-fil-A and what they do.
Yes.
I just have a different preference when it comes to if I'm going to get a chicken sandwich where I want to go.
Yes.
And
that actually proves that makes it powerful.
That's hard. Yeah, that's a powerful thing to think about. If you've got people celebrating you, even if they do business with someone else, there's something special about you if you do that.
Well, I think it's going to be huge right now with AI coming out, with self checkouts. The way that these businesses have taught us to be secluded from everybody else. Those businesses that actually come out and are more personable, the ones that know your names, the ones that do those type of things like Chick-fil-A, that say those type of things that really stand out, are going to be the ones that's going to win in the market from here on out, just because of where we're going with AI and everything else that's in place.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point, Harvey. That our culture is craving authenticity because of it moving in that direction and everything being automated and AI and all of that. We as humans, we crave that authenticity. So that's a perfect opportunity for a small business owner to step in and fill that role.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we've got a great start to this month's topic, guys. Let's wrap up with what's the difference on the other side of this little intro, and we'll put a cherry on top of this Sunday for this first installment of this topic this month.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
All right. What's the difference? Where I will ask a simple question. What's the difference between this or that, and you need to make sure you answer both. This is this, that is that, so we get an actual comparison. If you ramble on too long, you will get buzzed. Don't take it personally. It's all for fun. It's kind of like a game show. We haven't had to buzz anyone in a long time, so you feel good about that. All right, that's what it sounds like right there. Okay, see, that wasn't too bad.
I think he was
All right,
buzzing you, Nathan. Wow.
That's fine. It's fine. I don't care. I can take it. Let's start with Jax. Just for that, you're up first, Jax.
That's
What's
fine.
the difference between customer service and customer experience?
Okay, so that's a great question. So customer service, you are solving a particular problem or issue that they're facing, right? Something has gone awry and you need to help them navigate how to fix it, right? If you are dealing with customer experience, that is going to be something that is a lot deeper. It's going to be, how does the entire process flow look like? What is going to make them remember you long term, right? Customer service tends to be a more reactive situation, whereas customer experience is proactive. You're thinking it through. How do you need that to look down the path, right? So I would say those are the biggest differences, if you will.
Yeah, you hit everything perfectly. Just to kind of sum it up, I would say customer service is responding to a complaint with a refund. Let's say that's an example. Customer experience is when a hotel surprises a guest with a personalized welcome gift on their because of their past visits. What's the hotel in Dallas that gives the cookies, the fresh cookies, the sugar cookies to all the new customers? No one? I'm just making that up. I promise there's a hotel that does that.
There probably is. I just don't know who it is because I don't stay in hotels in my own city.
Well, okay.
Just saying.
I don't even know how to respond to that. Rachel, sorry, Jay. What's the difference between a referral partner and a brand ambassador?
I think a referral partner is someone who maybe there's some obligation there to send a referral. Like, okay, you sent someone to me, I'll return the favor. A brand ambassador is going to be passionate about your company and you as an individual, and they want to share you with others, even if they don't get anything in return for it.
I think that's great. I think you really, that I don't even have a follow-up to that. That's perfect. I'm looking in the comments. People are still trying to figure out what hotel that is. I don't think that's the correct answer, by the way. Lenny goes to the Sweet Tooth Hotel. I promise you guys, we've had them on our show before. Somebody from this hotel, and they give fresh baked sugar.
Now you want me to now I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna find it.
It's like Embassy Suite. It's like or DoubleTree or something. It's
it was actually in Rockwall, and we had
yes.
cookies, and they wanted to give cookies, and so they partnered right on our show, and now that person distributes fresh cookies to the hotel in Rockwall.
Right. Okay.
There you go.
There you go. Magic.
That's what you get when you produce 2,000 different shows over the last few years. You kind of start
right. And we met those people we met the hotel owners at our other networking group originally. That's where I remember that now. Okay. Now that I'm so disheveled from cookie talk, I apologize. I totally lost my place and where we're trying to go here. Okay. Let's see here. We'll just, because we talked a lot about this, and I want to just sum this up because I think this is really important. So Harvey, what's the difference between a customer and a raving fan? Hopefully, if you've been listening for the last 25 minutes, you've got that down, but I'm going to let Harvey kind of sum it up for us.
I'm going to put it in this perspective. We see a lot of people when they go have a bad experience, the first thing they want to do is go put it on Facebook, and they want to talk about how bad this place was. And so what I want as a raving fan is, I consider a customer is just going to go in and do that 5-star Google review, and it's one and done. But I want that raving fan to jump on social media and talk about that experience, something that wasn't me coaching them to do. It was based off the experience, something that that they got from that, and so they promote me on an ongoing basis in the company. So
very good. Okay, Ariel, last one to you. And again, if you've been listening the last 20 minutes, hopefully you got this, but we use this segment to kind of bring it all together because we're flowing through a lot of different talking points and a lot of different conversations. So we want to make sure that all this this is kind of the outline, so you can take this away and apply it to your business. Okay, lastly, what is the difference between seeking referrals and engineering referrals? This is for Ariel.
So I would say it kind of goes back to the authenticity of you just showing up as yourself. You're not expecting a handout from people because you're creating raving fans. You're creating that customer experience. I mean, it's basically you're tying it all together. You're creating someone who's your brand ambassador, all of those things. And ultimately, that's how they're able to do it.
Yeah. So referrals, seeking referrals is just like we talked about where you're going out and you're talking to people, you're meeting at networking groups, maybe there's some obligation there, right, to give a referral. And again, early on, you take what you can get when you're starting a business. You don't turn any business away. You do all the things that you don't want to do, the calls, everything you do to be successful. But why that can be expensive is what we talked about earlier, is that because over time, one, it drains you, to be perfectly honest, right? You can get burnout pretty quickly. And so engineering referrals is exactly what we talked about for the last 20 minutes, in that you're building through experience, through recognition of your brand, through how you take care of people, to your involvement in the community. You're building a pipeline of people that trust and know you. And I think that's exactly on point. So, all right, we're going to go to break. Great job, guys. When we come back, we're going to dive in deeper with Rachel and Ariel. Stick around. We'll be right back on the Community Difference Plano.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media, LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts, called the Community Difference Series, are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
All right, as we transition into our final segment, we want to go in a little bit deeper with our incredible guests, Rachel and Ariel. And we like to start this off with just kind of a fun, playful couple of questions, and then we'll dive into the hard-hitting questions, and tears will flow and lives will be changed. It'll be amazing. First thing, I'm just kidding. That's never happened. But if
wow.
you guys, yeah,
the expectation there, Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. People are it's an existential moment of clarity. So if you could have any superpower, but only for one day, what would it be? Start with Ariel.
I almost feel like it would be flying, because I could get so much done if I could just fly everywhere.
Cut down in time, no traffic. That's true. Rachel, what about you?
I thought she would say swim like a fish. I mean,
Mine is hands down reading people's minds.
Okay. That's very scary. I hope that doesn't
I
come
want
true.
to, but I have a very inquisitive mind, so I want to know what other people are thinking and what's going on in their heads, and they don't always
That's
tell
fair.
you.
You
So
might not like it if you find out what's going on in all the people you care about's heads, just saying.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be good until you find out like all the people that don't actually like you and are pretending to like you or something. That would be very tough. Not you, but just in general. Like if I had that, I'd be like, oh crap. But anyways, okay, I like that. I think that's good. What are you? I know business owners never watch TV, right? We don't do that. But let's say you were to watch TV. What are you watching? Do you have a series, anything that's kind of your guilty pleasure in the wee hours of the morning when you can't sleep? You have to put something on. Ariel.
So it's NCIS Origins. I am obsessed. It's like the sequel to NCIS. And
isn't there like 15
my
sequels
dad
to
watches that.
NCIS?
There's different cities. There's different cities, but the original NCIS is like, oh, it's amazing. So the Origins is basically they took the main character and they're going through as him as a younger, like how he got into NCIS. And it's like crazy because it's like all these spider webs that never connected are now starting to connect. And so, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word for it. So there, I mean, I've watched it before. I like NCIS, but it doesn't. Yeah, I can't keep up with all of it. Is the problem? Rachel, what about you?
I'm gonna have to say Hoarders because it's always motivating. It always lights a fire underneath me, and it's twofold because it makes me feel great about myself too.
That is
Well,
so
yeah.
true. If I need to clean,
It's like what not
Hoarders
to
is
do.
definitely the way to go.
Yeah, all the things not to do. Yeah, that shows it makes me sad actually. We had somebody like that used to live across the street from us, and it was very sad. Yeah. Anyways, not to digress. Well, let's go in a little more on a serious note. Ariel, what is a kind of a pivotal moment in your life that kind of that shaped, who you become, and then really led to why you have passion about the business that you're in?
I think it happened about 2 years ago. We were looking for space to have take the office out of the home, and we found a hangar for rent. So we ended up and we built my design studio here, and that is ultimately like never planned on doing aviation anything. We were one of those people that all the aviators do not like, where you get a hangar without a plane. And so we fell in love with it, seeing planes take off all the time. So now we have a plane, and yeah.
So you with the hangar and no plane, and then you're like, well, everyone else has a plane, we better get one. So now you have okay.
That's an expensive hobby too, by the way. Planes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's not just like, hey, let's get a golf cart or something. That's a little bit more of a commitment.
Yes, it is. It's quite a lot, but it's nice because when you have pilot friends, when they want to go do something, because the wives don't typically want to go, that me and my husband get to go.
Nice. That's very cool. And where are you? Are you in like Plano, McKinney? Where exactly are you?
So I'm in McKinney. I'm at the small airport, not big McKinney, the small one that's off Virginia.
Yeah. Okay, I know what we're talking about. Same question to you, Rachel. Do I need to repeat?
So my pivotal moment and the reason that I am in this industry at all is that, not to be a Debbie Downer, but I was actually widowed a little over 2 years ago, and my late husband did not have a life insurance policy. And it was a really hard lesson for our family to learn why it was so important to have that in place. So because of that, I became very passionate about helping to make sure that nobody else that I encounter ever experiences that aspect of loss, because it's not necessary, and there's things that can be done to prevent that aspect.
Yeah, we share some similar industry things here, so I completely agree with you. And so let me ask you guys this, as we're going to transition here to like wrapping up in just a moment. But what is it that led to kind of knowing that, hey, this is, and maybe you guys grew up here, but you're both doing business in Collin County, Plano, et cetera. What is that moment where you're like, okay, this is where I want to have my family. This is where I'm going to build my business. What was it that led you to that kind of realization, or it just happened and you're happy you're here? Which one is it? I'll start with there. I'll go with Ariel first. Yeah.
I've lived in Texas my whole life, so it did just kind of make sense. But we have, so we've been married for 10 years. We have moved 7 times. So
Whoa.
Yes. McKinney has been we've lived in McKinney the longest, and we just absolutely love it. So I think it was more with each move, we were trying to find what worked for us. So, we went too far out and then we were too far in, and it's almost like Goldilocks, where we were trying the different cities and we finally found the one that's just right. And that's ultimately how we ended up in McKinney. The hangar thing just turned into, because we live here too now.
Oh, okay. So you just went all in. I love that.
Yeah, we went all
That's
in.
Good. Rachel, what about you?
So, like Ariel, I also grew up in Texas. Thank the Lord. But I think, just Collin County in general, I think about it, and there's not very many towns in Collin County that you can't not love the town and the downtown area and the people and the feel of it. I've made some wonderful friends and connections throughout Collin County, and so you just can't go wrong.
I can't think of any town in Collin County that is not quaint and unique in its own little way.
Yes.
Or in a very big way, like Plano, Frisco. So, well, very good.
Yeah.
Well, we got about 4 minutes here. Harvey, I'm going to give you 20 seconds to say something really nice about Rachel, and then I'm going to do the same thing for you, Jax, and then we're going to close out.
Well, knowing Rachel the way I do, just knowing her story and where she came from, I think it's pivotal for me to share the fact that it's really opened my eyes to making sure that my family's taken care of in that regards. And so just knowing that story and knowing that background about her and where her heart lies in that is huge for me. So thank you, Rachel. I greatly appreciate that.
Thank you,
That's
Harvey.
awesome. Jax?
I was going to say I kind of ended up by happenstance next to Ariel at an amazing lunch with the Plano Babes of Business, and it was a lot of fun, especially because she's interior design, and that's what my mom does for a living. So there's definitely a camaraderie there. I could kind of understand, appreciate some of the things she experiences and goes through, and she just had such a happy spirit and such a great attitude. I was like, yeah, she definitely has got to be a part of the difference. Come on as a guest.
Well, Ariel, give us about 20 seconds of how to get a hold of you and what your takeaway was today.
So you can go through my website at arrowviewdesign.co. And the biggest takeaway, I think, is really focusing on the customer experience so I can create a raving fan, because I don't want to have referral partners. I want a raving fan. So I think that's my biggest wisdom nugget that I took away from this.
Rachel, what about you?
So you can reach me on my cell phone, 214-695-4508, and I'm happy to help and answer any questions that anyone does have about life insurance and the different products that I do offer. I think my biggest takeaway was having intentionality. There's, building a Raving fan, that does not happen just by accident. And I think just with the discussion today, it's clear that we have to be intentional about how to build that.
I agree 100%. Well, guys, thank you, Ariel, Rachel, Jax, Harvey. Great show. Great start to the month, guys. Episode 2 of this topic will be coming up on the 8th, a week from today, on the new Tuesday time. So thank you guys again. Great job. And we'll see you back here next Tuesday at 11:30.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Plano was made possible by Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, Harvey Loosier with Twilight Cleaning Services, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Jacqueline Kreider with Financial Mastery Simplified, Susanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Audra Hooper with Audra Hooper Integrated Health, Cindy Durance with A Place at Home, and by Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference.